Good night, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to another week of the All Over It podcast, where we uncovering it all. Promise you. Have a few people still messaging me, letting me know that they joining, they're about to join. messages coming in. Anybody here already? Don't leave a little message in the chat. Let me know who they are with me. You know? Don't worry, I have a good episode in store for you today. Trust me, we're talking about some new school thing. Yeah, going to be a good one. Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, but yeah, good night, everybody. Once again, good night. Thanks for joining. I gonna get started right now. So, yeah, All Over It Podcast, episode 9. Welcome, we here, we staying consistent. Like I said last week, believe in yourself and stay consistent. That's what all about doing for sure. hmm But yeah, have a good one for you. Last week we talked about rising above telecommunication setbacks, and today is a part 2. So, like I said last week, I touched on I touched on a few different things talking about telecommunications, but mostly focusing on the mobile side of things. So, like your phone, so mobile data, and like we say, having unlimited data and different things like that. Today, now, I'm more talking about like what they would call residential internet connection. But as per usual, I have a nice little motivational message in store for you. So, of course, I can start with a message and then we can dive right into the episode. So, yeah, the message today is we all must grow. We all must grow. You are supposed to grow. We all must grow. We as people, the plants, the trees around us, our pets, animals that are around us, everything must grow. Even your business or your house. Just like how you see people measuring the height of their children every year or every couple of months to see how much they grew, or even the fact of, let's say, us, when we were small, when we were birthed, we didn't know how to tie our shoes, we didn't know how to button up our pants, how to put on a shirt, and look at us now. We didn't know how to walk. And now we walking everywhere, we walking out to the car, we driving. Think on back to when you couldn't drive, before you went and did your driving test. Just imagine that. Now people just driving around like it's normal. So just like how plants grow bigger and taller every year, we as people, we also must grow. If you have a business, you want to see it grow, right? I would think. Maybe, like I say, you're driving a car right now, but something not telling you, okay, maybe I might want a SUV soon, or soon in the near future. We as people, we are made to elevate. We are not made to stay stagnant. But that's life. Think of it this way. Like I say, we grew up with our parents. We were born as children. We grew up and we learn from our parents as sponges. And then we go out on our own. We move into our own place. Whether we get a 1 bedroom or nowadays is a studio, because everything is like all in one now. So not even a 1 bedroom really. Everything in one room. But yeah, you get a place for yourself, you move on, you grow like the birds after they born, they have to leave the nest, and fly and make their own way in life. It's the same thing, you know. So you get your own place, maybe you get a car for yourself, you know, maybe a little two door because you're a bachelor, and yeah, you're living life, living a bachelor life. But then maybe you find somebody, you get a girlfriend, and after a while, you guys decide to take it serious and decide, okay, let's start looking into a family. So now the house gotta grow, now the car gotta grow, need space, right? And can't forget, the funds have to grow, of course. But yeah, let's just say you buy a plant, it in a pot, and maybe you leave it for a few weeks and you notice it starts drooping or yellowing. It needs space. It needs space to grow and get bigger and elevate. So I would say, just like the plant, they want to be in something bigger, somewhere bigger, so it can spread its wings, just like the bird jumping up the nest, or a bird or the plant really trying to spread its roots, but you get what I'm saying, so as I said, we all must grow, all of us, no matter what organism, what species, no matter what vibe, what frequency you're on, we all we all have to grow, so simply put, you must look back and reflect on your life and see if you have advanced yourself in any way, or if you stayed stuck, stayed stagnant, which you don't want that. So if that's the case, that means something in your environment is not feeding you. Something in your environment is keeping you dormant, keeping you stuck or bound. Maybe you yourself, maybe you just got comfortable and now you're no longer striving for better or no longer achieving new goals and challenging yourself in new ways. But in life, innovation and change is inevitable. No matter who you are or where you are, eventually something has to adjust. So you have to believe in yourself and keep striving for better, keep growing and getting better. Because we all must grow. And that's my motivational message for today. We all must grow. So if you miss it, if you miss the whole thing, you can always check it back once the live done. Of course, actually you could actually skip back now. On YouTube you could like skip back 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds. You could do it while you're on the live. Yeah, big up my boy, Hosh, eh? Big up yourself one time, my brother. Escape. You don't know. By the way, don't worry, you know how it is. Focus is Monday, so I focus on the show. So you don't know the link you have to bless. But yeah. Today's an interesting day for all over it podcast. I'm telling you. Like I say, we have a good topic. We're talking about Starlink and how it shake up St. Martin. I don't think it shake up nowhere else like how it shake up St. Martin. Really, really and truly. Hey, good evening, Enigma. Blessings. Thank you for joining. I appreciate the support. Really and truly. But yeah, today we're talking about Starlink. I have Starlink. I've had it for some months now, since last year. Like last quarter last year. Let me say like that. And I love it. Personally, I think I said it in a few episodes prior, but Yeah, I advocate for Starlink. I know a lot of people mm, have the views about Elon and thing, but yeah, I'll say maybe I wouldn't. I know about Tesla so much. One thing they start doing good in the market. It's crazy how good they're doing with how the company been going. But yeah, the Tesla, I wouldn't you know rave about it so much like how I'll rave about the Starlink. Starlink, they got one supporter if none else. Yeah. I believe in that mission because and understand. I speaking today from the point of view of somebody who is a IT professional, somebody who has a bachelor's degree in computer science. I've studied computer and dealing with computer software and hardware. I've done work in different capacities as, let's say, technical support, different roles within the IT field, let's say. So I'll say I verse in the sector, and I'll say my word should come for something. I guess that's the simplest way I could say it. Like, yeah, we 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 know about this, so if I tell it to you, it means something. I talk from a position of support and we say facts. I don't just talk for talking sake. Like how a friend of mine would say, don't rub sugar on my lips. I don't rub sugar on nobody's lips. I tell it to you like it is what it is. You might like it, you might not, but I can tell it to you, you know? So, exactly, exactly. You see, I have to comment on Enigma says, shame on us. No good connection at all. This is the thing, and this is why we reached to this point. Because in this episode, I about to show you the Flow website, the Telem website, and the Starlink website, and compare the services. I even going to show the a few articles that come out, let's say between last year leading up to now, about, let's say, the controversy on the dot side of St. Maarten around Starlink, and then a little bit of my personal experience dealing with it. But yeah, why pay for bad service? And honestly, I think that's a good segue for me to start and say that's exactly the point I made to my family before we got the Starlink. And like I say, keep in mind, as a IT professional, somebody who is very tech savvy and who relies very heavily on internet and connection. Let's just say like this. I'll say plain like this. In this day and age, 2025, internet connection is no longer a luxury. It is a necessity. Even people in the most ruralist of places have internet in some way, whether on the phone, whether somehow they make it happen. And that's to show you it's a necessity. It comes just like water, just like food to people life. They say basic necessities: water, food, shelter. Internet, no, understand me. you know See, Enigma say, when are we going to get at least at 1 gig? What I would say is they had a kind of controversial article that came out last week self. Because I remember when I was talking about the mobile data situation, someone one of my friends posted on Facebook about now Telem changing their services, are offering better or higher speeds for the same amount and different things along that line. So that's why, just like last week I say, and this is why this podcast is about motivation but also about business and educating people about business and showing you like, look, this is good business, this is bad business. Let me just say plain like that, and bottom line, straight, bad business, bad service has been provided, and now a viable competition come into play, and you know causing ruction in the market, so now taking away market share from all these other entities, and now they want to now shape up. First they try to see if they could cut them out, but that ain't work. So now, as life goes, when you go to a business, let me use a simple example. Let me say, I don't want to use KFC and Church's chicken. Let me say McDonald's and Burger King. Let me say you like McDonald's. McDonald's, is a big name, so you trust McDonald's and thing. But then you notice a few times you've been going, the people there ain't been giving you good service, like the customer service has been lacking. And also the product, when you buy the burger look sloppy, or maybe it undercooked or whatever. Yeah, okay, you might be a supporter of McDonald's, but after a few times when they slip up, you can start thinking to yourself, by maybe Burger King might be it. And then if you go Burger King and let me say that Whopper banging, and them girls in there treat you so nice, they come bring the food to your table, they even wipe off the food scrap off your face and thing. You say, what? But I need to keep coming Burger King. What I been doing with my life all these years. And this is a perfect example of service, so it's from both sides, like, but in general, think on yourself from a consumer side, but also put yourself in a business owner side. Like, bottom line, if you don't deal with your customers good, if you don't treat them well and respect them and give them good service, they're not going to want to come back to your business. That's plain. All of us could agree with that. That's 1 + 1 = 2. Cool. If you're providing good service, and especially if the service you're providing is cheaper than your competitor, and you giving, man, maybe 10 times better the service, how in the world is not all the customers gonna leave that next company and not come to you? How? So yeah, plain and simple. So that's just me providing you with a couple of analogies to understand like business from this type of level, and understand why things is how it is. Let me put it like that. And why Starlink knocking them out the park. And I'm gonna show you why. So like I say, moving back, I get the Starlink about September last year. I purchased it locally. So here by Cost You Less, they were selling them. So online, hey, blessings, Clad. Greetings. Shout out to you. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Yes, yes. The owner and founder of the Green Dream Projects, St. Maarten Recycling Side project, in collaboration with a friend side. But friend side already got recycling set up, so that's why I gotta say, this is side now. But anyways, I digressed. As I was mentioning, the Starlink, I got it from Cost You Less. At the time, Starlink on their website was costing about $550. So how it works, you order the package, which is the kit, which comes with the router, the satellite, and the different hardware that you need, the cables, and whatever stand such and such. Good. So because of our situation on the dot side, I was unable to order it directly from the website. Come to find out, Casuless had it for sale. Actually found out afterwards, Tech Hub also sells it. Right now, a lot of other places selling it now. Truthfully, I've been studying about maybe getting some and selling them too, because I could install them. I just do the installation. I do my installation. My friend just asked me the other day about installing his, so I check in. That's a market. Anyways, yeah, I was unable to order it because prior to getting it, I was looking into it. So I get it like last year, September. I maybe was looking into that since 2023 because as as somebody who's an IT professional, I check in like I need connection. Enough days I come home and ain't got no internet. I come home from work. I got other stuff I gotta do on the laptop, and I don't have no internet, no internet self. Yeah, man, I set you up for sure. You don't know. We is we, my brother. And don't worry. Business is business. Once you got it, we can make it happy. So yeah, man, don't worry, don't worry. I tell you though, this thing's serious. Serious thing. Anybody, here answer Maarten, or anybody anywhere listening that experiencing telecommunication issues at home and you checking, man, I thinking about just biting this bullet, paying our money and getting Starlink. But I'll tell you, worth every penny and more. Yeah. I tell you, like, bottom line, like I say, from an IT perspective, IT professional, it just makes sense. It's so much better. The Let me just say like this simply. We all understand, like cables and all these things. When you're sending data through a cable, it loses some of the data. Let me just say like that. So everything don't pass how it's supposed to do. They have latency to it. Latency mean like, let me say, resistance, a little drawback. So you're gonna get everything. You're gonna get everything you want. So if you send in 100, let me say, maybe you might get like 80 pass. So here in Martin, in other countries, is mainly was run by copper wire. Your internet was usually copper wire, but now they've been doing fiber. Fiber is a lot better than copper in different ways, but copper is a lot more durable than fiber. But yeah, for internet and connectivity wise, fiber a lot better than the copper. Good. Um, where I live in St. Martin does not have fiber. So they started an island-wide project to introduce and implement fiber throughout the dot side of the island, but unfortunately my area did not receive it as yet, and last I heard they had a little hiccups in the project. But it makes sense because the company is currently in a kind of limbo state. Say it nicely. See, look. Oh God! SKC, I swallowed a Starlink bullet self. Bye bye. And you see, Clad say, I came to St. Martin in 2005. Internet more expensive and the quality of service seems more porous. Totally agree. You know, um, Like I mentioned last week, I was talking about mobile data. I was paying, when I was in the US, I was paying like $65. I think because I had to do the recurring, it was 55. They had give me like a little discount. That's one thing I like about the stage. I always get some deal or some discount, some type of saving. Don't make you feel like yeah. Anyways, I used to pay like $65 for unlimited everything. Unlimited calling, which okay, it said unlimited data, but then they had a stipulation that is really 22 gigs unlimited, really high speed, and then it goes to a low speed data. So it's not to say like once your 22 gigs done, you ain't got no connection, you're out of touch, you're an outcast. No, you still could stay connected to the world, which that was a positive. I had like that a lot. And yeah, look, here in St. Martin, yeah, last week I talked about the mobile data plan. So if you really want me, I ain't gonna get too deep in that. We moving on yeah. So yeah, you see, look, Enigma say copper was much better than fiber, and this is why I'm saying it has pros to the copper, but also pros to the fiber. Which one of the pros to the fiber was you get a better throughput, meaning like with the copper you only maybe could get like 10 megabytes per second, maybe maximum 50 megabytes per second. But then with the fiber, you could do like 100, 200, 300, like, so you get better throughput. But like you say, the thing is with the fiber, it's more delicate, so the copper wires, them, it could get a little hit, it could get a little damage, and it's still running, it's still working. But now the fiber, it like, as the name suggests, fibers, like little fine fibers in them cable. If you actually see it, the fiber cables is significantly smaller than the copper wire too. But anyways, so all of that, like, it's literally like light passing through the fiber wire. So yeah, if it get crushed a little too hard, maybe they put it under the ground, and then maybe a car pass and the car a little too heavy and it get a little too crushed, then you probably okay internet. So I say all that to say Starlink got them beat. Because what? Starlink is satellite. Think of like back in the days, people used to have cable box, but then other people used to be like high class. They used to have a satellite dish self, a big satellite dish on the house. Checking, yeah, they catching whatever channel they want. They turn it the right way and they catch channel any place in the world. Well, Starlink giving it to you like that now. Yeah. Starlink giving you your internet like that, direct from a satellite. They send up, they self decide, you know what? We gonna send up we own satellites in the air. Which since I get my Starlink, they send up a bunch more satellites. They check so how it is in like a bunch of, think of like a mesh of satellites in the atmosphere, the outer atmosphere, the wall, and yeah, just keeping us connected direct, no cable, no none of these things, just fume direct to the moon. Man, how you gonna beat that? Like, how is you going to beat that? It's somebody in this chat, please tell me how any internet service provider that running cable could beat that. First of all, they don't have to run Starlink ain't gotta run no cable, so you could get an infrastructure come to your house. So they don't have to go dig up the road all through and through the states or all through and through St. Martin to put down the wires so it could come to your house, just so you could get some Wi-Fi in your house now. Keep in mind, You putting running all these cables and then you're hooking it up to a router that you checking you getting Wi-Fi. So a wire giving you Wi-Fi, wireless. Yo, this is why it's showing you. That's why they got him dead. That's why, like I say last week, and I've been saying, and this is why, maybe this is why I'm so passionate about this topic. This is something I've been wanting. Before I start this podcast, I had this topic to talk about telecommunication and say Maarten, because it's nonsense. We've been experiencing nonsense, and maybe because as an IT professional, maybe that's why it does hurt me and affect me so much. But your lord, I check in. No man, they just doing us bad and we just sitting down and taking it with a smile. It's like people feeding you sugar, honey, iced tea. And you this tastes good, boy. Not me. Not me. Not this boy, Anna. They gonna get me. I gonna always find a way. I promise you, Nana. So that's why. That's why I do this podcast. And that's why I just talk. Because what? They ain't gonna get me by. I too solution oriented. I too problem solving for that. No. As soon as I see, okay, this is a problem, I figuring it out. I got to figure it out. Cause I ain't gonna feel good if I don't figure it out. Straight up. That gonna be on my brains until I figure out that solution. So you can see sugar turn salt, but sugar and salt look the same. So you might take the cup, checking, man, this is some sugar water, but when you taste it, but then we've been just drinking it like, this ain't what I thought it was, but bye look. Anyway, to show you how controversial Starlink been on St. Maarten. Like I say, I get it from last year, September. Rightfully, only now, June 2025, it has been, how to say, allowed. It has been open. The doors have been open now for Starlink to legally operate on that side. Now, you could go on the website and literally put in your address and order it direct to your house. Lucky you. Which I walk in and fixing my thing. I gotta get my address changed. I gotta leave that for the end, man. That little, little story 5. But yeah, craziness. So let me just start trying a little bit of the thing, the talk, the thing. Because yeah. So as you can see, this and I ain't gonna really make you have to read it. So I gonna breeze through it quick. It says BTP advises public on prohibition of Starlink antenna usage. Good. This was August 27, 2024. So last year, August. Good. This is the Bureau of Telecommunications and Posts in St. Maarten is advising all resellers that the sale and distribution of Starlink antennas on the dot side of St. Maarten is strictly prohibited. At present, Starlink, operated by SpaceX, is not authorized to provide telecommunication services through the antennas on the dot side of St. Maarten. Good. And then it's saying about unauthorized usage, they're talking about that. Then they talk about regulatory compliance, and then the public advisory, they're urging the public to refrain from buying them. So understand, they come up with that because what? Pressure was getting hot. Although we on the dot side couldn't buy it from the online for Starlink website direct and get it sent directly to us, they had places here locally that was selling them, and honestly the workaround was, let me say was, I was going to say was / is, but it was now, because now we free, we open, we like the birds them flying, just like in the message I say out. the motivational message from all you. We free as the wind blow. Yeah, but before you had to be as fortunate enough as to have somebody on the front side that you could use their address as your service address. So rightfully, the antenna, the kit, your Starlink setup is set up in your house, well, on wherever you set it up, on the roof, wherever, on the dot side, but your service address is registered on the front side. So I am one of those cases. Fortunately for me, I have family on the front side, so I end up just buying it, like I said, by cost you less, and I install it home, and I asked my cousin if I could use my aunt address, and he agreed, and I did just so, and I've been up ever since. The only thing I would say with the front side versus the dot side is because they is in euros, when you're paying, the fluctuation with the euro to the dollar, our account is dollars, so you know our monthly payment varied. So like 1 month it might be like 74, and next month it might be like 85, like, so it fluctuates because of the conversion rate of euro to dollar. But apart from that, even that being the case, it's still cheaper than when I had Telem, and the service 10 times better. Man, understand me. Good. So continuing on with the Bureau of Telecommunications, once again they came up with another article, which was, this one was 2 days after August 29, 2024, saying clarifies misleading statement in media. So they come out, BTP come out with another article 2 days after the one that just prohibited Starlink and urging people to refrain from purchasing, blah blah. Good. They come up with a next one. BTP would like to address and correct the misleading statements that have recently circulated in the media. Good. Contrary to claims, BTP has not implemented any new rules or guidelines to prevent Starlink from entering the market to protect local providers. Rather, BTP is upholding the long-standing telecommunication laws and regulations that have been in effect for decades. These laws are designed to maintain a fair and competitive market, and they are fully accessible on our website. Well, their website, BTP. Good. And then, furthermore, wishes to clarify that it possesses Starlink equipment solely for regulatory. So you see, it says BTP wishes to clarify that it possesses Starlink equipment solely for regulatory purposes. In line with our mandate and responsibilities, we conduct comprehensive testing and monitoring to manage spectrum usage, mitigate, all okay, good. So they come out and say, they didn't prohibit it, and that they got one just to do testing. So you know how it go. Media, you know how that go. Yeah, don't worry. I can pull up. I got the websites ready. But we gotta ease into it. I can't just slap you with all that info one time, man. Cause then people will be checking. Okay, I hear what I wanted to hear already. I can't. Yeah. But yeah. It's crazy. So continuing on. So continuing on, and this was more recent. So in January 27th, which was about 4 months from the first article. This is in the People's Tribune. Our Minister of TIAT confirmed that discussions are ongoing to establish a formal concession agreement with Starlink, the satellite-based internet provider. It also continued, it said, highlighting the importance of regulating Starlink operations within St. Maarten to ensure compliance with local laws and to generate revenue for the government. Okay. And then BTP is currently negotiating with Starlink to formalize their operations here. Good. So, this article now is from January 27th. And since then, as you're going to see, since January, they was talking in discussions, and now this article recently come out 28th of June 2025. Starlink is now legal in St. Maarten side, opening new doors for connectivity. Hear it good. Opening new doors for connectivity. Oh God, Mamoro. Good night to you. I appreciate you for joining. God bless you. I will be calling you after I done here. I going to continue. But yeah, so they come up with this article June 20th, 2025 saying that yeah, Starlink now allowed, no longer prohibited. As it says, the connectivity landscape in St. Maarten is on the cusp of a transformation. And I promise you that is the truth. Because, like I tell Ayo, you see how they come and shake up the place. Okay, good. You see? Yeah, ma'am. You see Jonathan healing up there in the chat from Gas King. You see? She leaving you know. All the way. From Colo. Okay, good. I appreciate the love and support from another country. But yeah, though, Starlink now, as they say, allowed in St. Maarten. As they say, our connectivity landscape in St. Maarten is on the cusp of a transformation. Yeah. As our TIAT minister granted Starlink SXMBV, who obviously they had to create an official company locally, an official license to operate throughout the country. And imagine that. Look, they don't get a license already. Anyway, so this landmark decision allows Starlink under the leadership of SpaceX to provide broadband internet access across terrestrial, maritime, and aviation zones. With this authorization, residents, businesses, and even travelers in the region are poised to reap the benefits of a more connected future. Amen to that. I ain't gonna get into all of this. It just says, what the Starlink license covers. So that's the more government side, or like the business aspect and thing. The cost and setup details. This is more like their business side of things. I don't want to hear all about that. Their corporate setup and how they got their safeguards and the business setup and implications for the businesses and thing and such and such, gaps in the current legislation. So it's a good read, but we ain't reading all that right now. Just know that was technically the start, as you say, on May 6th, 2025. Our Minister of Telecommunications, let's just say, TIAT, falls under Telecommunications, falls under TIAT, granted Starlink the ability to operate on St. Maarten legally. Good. So this also was a short snippet which was posted on Maarten News on May 26th, which says Elon Musk Starlink is now available in St. Martin. Starlink is a satellite-based internet service, is now available in St. Martin. Starlink officially announced on X confirmed this, with users able to order and receive service. However, there is a nuance. The Dutch side of St. Martin has specific regulations regarding telecommunications. Nonetheless, Starlink is available on the Dutch side. And I could tell you that for a fact because, like I say, I've been checking the website from before we get it. And prior to, let me say, me getting it in 2024, when I was checking it in 2023. Yes, that's the best way I could tell it to you. When I was checking it in 2023, the front side was already available. You know, like if you was living on the front side, you could have put your address and order it directly to your address already from 2023. Good. On the dot side, it was saying available in 2024. Good. So when last year start, I was checking like, okay, good. I supposed to be able to get my Starlink direct. Plug in. Never happened. So that's why I made it happen. You know, once I see the opportunity was available to me, I jump at it because opportunities don't come twice. You have to jump at your opportunities when they come. Good. So yeah, God bless, I got Starlink now since last year September. But if I had to wait on day, only now I would have be able to look to order it. I wouldn't even get it set up yet. And imagine all of them months. Let me say it simply like this. If I had the Telem internet I could not do this podcast. Straight up. Like, with this Starlink, I have here and there seen little drops and thing in the episodes and thing, like maybe like the audio would be smooth, but then I'll see like little freezes in the video and thing. And imagine if it was Telem. I got scratch my head because this Starlink, the run. I just do this podcast streaming, and a lot of times at the same time we have like at least two other people, maybe one watching the stream and next one watching other things like, you know, YouTube videos or whatever. And I promise you, I'll put all the money I don't even have yet on the fact that if I had tell him I could not do this podcast, if I had tell him still, man, a lot of the advancements I made in my life, let me say since September, I would not be able to do. A simple example, I'd have to, because I was public relations officer of my Toastmasters club, now I'm officer of membership, so I changed role. But in my role as public relations officer, I had to be putting together flyers like joke. Like every week, every other week, I gotta put together a flyer. Sometimes in between flyers pop up and thing, and I need internet for that. You think Canva working offline? No. You think when I go try edit video and thing, CapCut and DaVinci Resolve working offline? No. You think when ChatGPT don't work offline? Okay, yeah, Word, Excel, those things will work offline, yeah. But gosh, man, what paying money for? I used to say simply like this. Simply, and maybe is America what got me so? Maybe. Maybe. And if it's so, I'll take it. But what? Customer service is everything, man. When you deal with your customers good, they keep coming back. When your customers see that you is a trustworthy source, they check in, man. I could rely on this person. Customer loyalty. Oh, yeah, Lord. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's a crazy thing we live in. It's a crazy thing we're experiencing, you know? But, yeah. Anyways, I digress again. Because it just goes to show you, like, you have to really be smart and really keep pushing and really, like, use your brains, boy. Because in this day and age, you could get swing easy, you could get strayed and detoured easily, you know. So you really gotta be mindful of surroundings and the decisions you make, you know. 'Cause, yeah, just like this is the thing, man. I'm telling you, this is get me because I used to say back when we had tele, what am I paying? $100 something, $110, $120 a month when 1/3 of the month I ain't got no internet. Personally, I feel like if I pay you, let me say 120 for nice round numbers. I pay you $120 for 30 days of internet service and 10 days out of that month, I ain't got no service. I feel like you owe me $40. Plain and simple. You owe me back 1/3 or some type of incentive to get back 1/3, to get back what I lose. But what? I could tell it to you exactly like this. Enough days. Enough. This is the thing, like, it does honestly get to me a little bit because it's like impossible. This is a service people getting provided. You know what it is? You paying $100 and something a month, and this is the money your company, the internet service provider, agreed to provide you the service for. So they to say like, yeah, they charge you 120, but now they check in, they charge you too little bit, so they want to charge you more. Nah, that can't fly. I sign contract with you, say 120 a month, 30 days. So I supposed to get 30 days of service smooth, and I pay you. Cause when the day come, you making sure the money there. If not, I can't come to you and say, bye, give me 10 days. You get 10 cuts. They gonna cut that internet 10 times on your head. But I'll be honest to you, I was in flow today and I make a little noise, but I had to go easy. Cause, yeah. But anyways, different story. Look, you know what it is? You're paying $110, $120 for, like he said, like right now, as SK say, $110 by flow for the second package, which is 14 megabytes per second. Good. When we had Telem, it was like 10 megabytes per second. 10 to, I think, 12. Maximum 12. For 110 or 120. Good. Like I tell you now, recently, because they got a little proper competition, the service is rising. You're seeing them giving better service, more data, more, good. But that just goes to show you. I was paying 110, 120 to tell them for 10 gigs, and then, like I say, 1/3 of the month, I ain't got no internet. I come home from work, or I go on the road, I come back. It's saying, like, on your phone, on your computer, it'll have the bar saying, yeah, you're connected, but you don't get no internet. Nothing. You go on the internet browser, you go on YouTube, whatever you go on, you don't have no internet, nothing. You don't have no connection to the outside world. Good. When you call them, call customer service. Yeah, but it show you got internet on our side. So what the hell I'm gonna call you for? You think I'm gonna really waste my time to hear your voice? You think I gonna take my what? I got time to prank you as tell him customer service to take my time out of my day to say, yeah, let me call, tell him customer service and tell him I ain't got no internet and I well got internet. Get out of here. Joke thing. And literally, I promise you, God is my witness. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Every single time. You call them and you tell them, yeah, you ain't got no internet. Yeah, well, it's sure we got internet on our side. But miss, if I had internet, I wouldn't have called you. Yeah, okay, well, we're going to send somebody. We're going to send a technician. Oh, God, don't hold your breath. If you see the technician within 5 days, you're lucky. You're a blessed person. I'll tell you that from my mouth here on this podcast. Yeah? You're blessed. If you see that technician straight up within the week. But I understand it from a employee standpoint. A IT professional living on St. Maarten, they don't pay us well and they don't have a proper team at none of the establishments. Most of these companies got a team of maybe 2 to 5 guys trying to do the whole network and internet infrastructure for the whole company. Let me say, like, even up to government, got maybe a team of 5 man for the whole island, for all the different government entities. They gotta deal with all the departments, everything inside the government building, in the other good. So good, you see, even SFA, all the different buildings that government have the departments in, good. 3 or 4 man. And I telling you, first of all, let me say from me personally, and tell you straight here right now, because my experience working in IT is a whole story as in itself. Like my labor dispute and, let me say, employment injustice that I experience is a topic of discussion for this show as well too. But bottom line, when you study IT, like I said, I have a bachelor's degree in computer science. But if I was in the States, starting directly out of college, I could have get starting at least 36,000 a year. Like, so that is considered like 3 grand a month, because 36 divided by 12. Good. I come to Maarten, they pay me at my, let me say the first job I get since I moved back, IT job. They pay me 21,000 and change a year and still smiling in your face and telling you, hey, this is competitive pay. Like, joke. So, you're underpaid, you're understaffed, so now a lot of everything is on you. You gotta stretch itself thin, because you gotta be everywhere at all times to keep out in fires, because fires, as a technical support, a IT technician, they always got fires. Somebody always got something they need help with. You check, something always gone wrong. You check and use the fix up. So this is why sure, yeah, is a problem solver, solution man, because I'm always the one that people call. Buy this here, mash up, buy, what going on, how to fix it, how we could get it working. They gotta figure it out. But impossible. I understand how it is for the technicians, but from a service standpoint, like even the technician himself, if he had to put himself in the customer shoe as as he being a customer, if he was the one that the technician had to come and install the internet at he house or come check the internet at he house, I sure he don't want him come the same day as well. Especially because he a IT man. He know he need that internet. You check? So one plus one can always be two. Bottom line. So that just show you the type of service, man will get in with Telem. Now Starlink on the other hand, okay, I buy it. It was significantly more expensive than if I had to, let me say, go and do a new installation by one of these internet service providers here locally. I'll agree to that. Cool. But how I look at it, Starlink is more expensive to buy the package, which the package has gone down significantly since I have purchased it. Good. But but how I look at it, no matter what, Starlink monthly payment is less than both the local internet service providers. So even if you want to look at it from a business standpoint, eventually you're gonna break even and you're gonna be profitable, or let me say you're gonna be paying less than you is now, to say it simply like that. Because bottom line, like I say, when I buy it, it was $550. Here locally, we pay $568 or something like that. So me personally, I check in what? That's great. Because if I could order it online for $550 and get it here for 560 something, I don't have to wait for it, which it doesn't take so long. Starlink to send it from wherever it coming from here within like 2 weeks. Good. So tend to say you got no long wait like it coming from China. Good. But bottom line, I check in, man, okay, that price ain't so much higher, and if I had to order it, I'd have to pay, taxes, shipping and all these things. So to pay $15-$18 extra to get it locally was perfectly fine for me. Good, because that's how I think on business. You gotta think on the convenience of getting it now. You gotta think on a lot of different factors, not just buy it cheaper, but I can go buy that now. Anyways, we get it for 550, 560 something, like I say. As I mentioned, the monthly charges, the monthly service plan for Starlink that we have then is $80. Check. So if you compare, usually these service providers here, they charging you $150 if you want to get an installation. So let me say if you want to convert from the next one, or let me say you just get a new house, you want internet, they usually charging you like 150 to install. So okay, that's about 4 times the cost. Three times, sorry. 3 times, so that's 450. A little over. More than 3 times the cost. Almost 4 times. Let me just put it like that. Cool. But then if you're paying 120 a month, now you're paying 80 a month. So you're saving $40 every month. So if you count that, let me say if you count it 550, take away 150, that's 400. After 10 months, you don't break even. You check? After that, everything is, now you gaining. Now your bill is $40 cheaper than when you had your previous service provider. So that's how I look at it. Since I get that Starlink, enough people I know checking like, yeah, why that Starlink so expensive to go get and thing. And I do my calculations, I check and buy. You sleep, you sleep. You gotta know business. You gotta know maths. And you gotta know your math gotta be Maarten. Let me put it like that. Because like any good businessman would make that play. In a sense of if you could get a product now for, let me say, 550,000, and you know every month you're gonna make, 40,000 more than you would have make if you didn't take it, you wouldn't jump on that. Because just now you pay off that 550, and then bam, you good to go. That's all money in after that. So now you're getting more money and all of it yours, man. Look, business always. So anyhow, anyway, any which way you want to put it, I all about business. I know business very well. True and true and true. Like this. Through my fingers, cake dough the fingers, all kind of way. I know business. Good. And Starlink is good business. Telem has not been operating and servicing the customers in an adequate manner, and that's why Starlink has been so controversial to St. Maarten, because they're shaking up the place. They're shaking up the place. Because, like I say, look, like SK say, better service, plain and simple. Better service, cheaper. How you gonna beat that? I asked earlier in the chat, and I still want to know anybody that could tell me how any of these service providers, whether locally here in St. Maarten, anywhere, I ain't just me telling them UTS, how any of them that running cable could beat a satellite internet provider that getting internet directly to the satellite. The only obstruction that it is tell you is clouds and rain. And I promise you, where is have obstructions. And I still got good internet. We here right now, right? Man, man, man. So I just say a lot to say. My experience with Starlink so far since September 2024 has been great. 2 thumbs up to Starlink. You could send this video to Elon. You could tag me in it, tag him, and say, look, Starlink supporter, #1 if you want to put that. Look, serious, cut it serious. I see the value. And I say man, I've been saying, but last week I say on this podcast publicly, if Starlink was publicly traded, SpaceX then, let me say that. I would have shares in that now for sure. No question. No questions asked. You check? Yeah, Tesla publicly traded, and I ain't gonna lie, I've been looking at it. It is something I would do later down the road. They a little on the pricier side. So that is for when things elevate a little bit more. Let me put it like that. But I like it no more than Elon. Well, one thing I say, a lot of people don't like Elon, and he is a little weird. He got offness to him, but certain people, certain children that ain't really get socialized much when they were young. You just get that offness with them. But one thing, he's a smart man, and I ain't even saying that in a sense like, yeah, he make all these things that he do, like, just he's a smart man. He know how to operate. He know that his chess not checkers, and he know how to observe the board and operate the board. Check, he know how to move, and I give it to him. But one thing I'll say, like I say, with the Tesla side right now, he been in a little hot water, but he kind of easing his way out of it. I tell you, he good now. He good. If you gotta like watch the stock news and thing and see like how Tesla been doing and how like let me say like how he been in Doge with Trump had Tesla going down and then they hit this little gimmick to bring it up. But nah, when you observe the board and you understand the moves they're making in front of you is a crazy game. I'm telling you, so you see, Enigma say, all our companies are busy robbing us. All. And that's why I showing you Starlink is our answer right now. They ain't like it now. And maybe they might say, I shouldn't be here telling it to you because they might say, bye, politician, this, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? I real like it or not, take it or leave it. I ain't come here to rub no sugar on nobody lips. Yeah, straight up. I ain't come to sweet you up or tell you what, like, sugarcoat nothing for you. No, I come to tell you what it is. So I agree totally, the robbing us. And that's why I get out of that, this specific robbery since September. And I trying to show you, like, look, this is the way. This is the light to get out of this dark tunnel that we've been in telecommunication wise because I'd say last week I've been saying it to numerous different people, whether like publicly on the road or privately, in one-on-one conversation. If Telem does not shape up, they is done. Just like UTS, somebody gonna have to come and buy them out. And let's hope that whatever they do could turn things around. I ain't gonna lie, they're working on turning things around now. Like I say, certain things come out that how they bettering the service because they see things serious. They say, like they say, this is not a drill. Well, they see this is not a drill. This is the real thing now. Yeah. So like I say from last week, and that's why this is the part two. If they, as tell them, don't implement unlimited plans and partner with Starlink. Okay, Starlink now is their own entity, as we see here tonight on this podcast. But still, it'll be a lot easier if it was just like Elon or whoever his sales rep is you deal with from wherever, and you just show them, yeah, I have business here in St. Maarten, collaborate, and I'll be your sign contract with them. Long story short, it would be better if you had signed contract with them prior to them getting the open door, but you could still make things happen. You could still collaborate with them even though they're local. One hand wash another always. So if you feel you're going to wash your hand or you feel you're going to come and slap Starlink, the hand will just swing back around and just blap, slap your own self. Yeah, straight up. Anyways, yeah. You see? As you see again, they could do better. They just don't want to. And keep making millions from us to promote all kind of other things. And yeah, they want to hear, you know, they want man get right up, but is that's one thing I just say in St. Martin. I promise you, look, I put my head on everything. I just keep my composure and I just deal with people in a respectful and respectable manner. Always. Even when I get hot. I just still respectfully listen to them and respectfully answer them. But exactly, here in St. Martin, it's like sometimes unless you get riled up or get a little loud, it's like nothing don't happen, not no move. And it's a shame to say, like, it's like you have to get out of character for for you to get things done in St. Martin, unfortunately. I ain't saying everywhere. Don't go and say, yeah, all of us say this, all of us say that. No. Don't take my words out of context, please and thank you. But bottom line, it has be customer service is a tough thing in St. Martin in a lot of places, and the service in general does be lacking in a lot of places. And me, I very particular, especially when it comes to my money. My money spending, you better deal with me good. I go restaurant and I don't like the service in there. I ticked off now. I can sit down there quiet, but in my head I checking by, I ready to go. Me want to spend my money here again. What the hell I spending my money? Giving it to you and you won't even providing me the service I deserve? Get out of here. Anyways, as SKC again, compared to paying the local companies, break even in 2 years, time and again, with better service, can't go wrong with Starlink. Exactly. Yeah. Making us poor because what? They just taking the money. But this is the one that killed me. My boy say he like Kendall more than Elon. That is it. Woo! But yeah, bottom line, let me show you a little something. So you see, even here in the chat, SKC 100 from flow 120 for 14 megabytes per second, and that's the maximum you could get. So understand, with latency you will not be getting the full 14, maybe 12 if you're lucky, probably 10, maybe 11. Good. I got some screenshots of some speed tests I do, and so how it is with the Starlink, another bigger benefit, you could control all your internet, everything from your internet on your phone app. I do this speed test on the app on my phone, on Starlink app on my phone. It has a speed test section, so you could test the speed whenever you feel like it. And trust me, it works even when you go on somebody else's internet. You could still go in Starlink app and do a speed test on whatever other internet they got and see how that working. Good. Because I do that. Good. I don't have the screenshot from when I was on the other local internet, but just know it's, let me just say, one or two of them came at around like 8 megabytes per second. One or two of them was like 9 and change. Good. It's not even a full 10. Starlink giving me, so this is not today, this is maybe a couple weeks ago, me and one of my friends was talking about the Starlink, and I sent him some screenshots at that time of where it was. So this is not a today screenshot, but I do have a screenshot of today. Good. Now, as you can see, 107 megabytes per second, 23 megabyte upload. So the upload and the download will be different, just for those who not so aware. And then it'll have latency. It'll still tell you about latency, but trust and believe, things booming over here. Yeah, good. Continuing on, like I say, I had take multiple. So this and next one I had take that same day. Cause like I say, my partner, we was discussing it. He show me like, yeah, he does only be getting like maybe 9 and change going on 10. And I check him by, bro, Starlink. I send him this next screenshot because really and truly they just say 100 megabytes per second, but it's at least 100 megabytes per second. I had do this one for 200 and something. I even do one for 300 something a time. I had do a speed test and I get over 300 megabytes per second. Good. So understand, even when it was 100, Even when it was 100 megabytes per second. Like I say, tell them 10 megabytes per second. That's maximum speed for 120. 110 or 120. Good. I am getting 100 minimum, sometimes 200, sometimes 300 for $80 a month. Like I said, because I registered on the front side, it's euro, so the conversion, it fluctuates. But still, the plan is $80 a month. Good night, Laurel. Good night, blessings. Shout out to. You see, look, man, Laurel come just in time. Laurel was one of my co-workers at my farm, one of my farmer tenures when I was at the medical school working in the IT department. Like I say, and say Maarten, our IT teams does be small. It's undermanned. Like maximum maybe 5 people to deal with the whole infrastructure. So like when I was AUC, that's exactly how it was. It was well, 5 of us, really 4, because one of them was like in another building and he was dealing with his own thing. Like he wasn't like part of the team really, in the sense of like we wasn't collaborating on a level like that. But yeah, like 4 of us, and Laurel was one because she was like the receptionist, the call operator, like we say, so whenever issue would arise, they'll call the office, call her, or they'll create a ticket, or usually they'll have her create a ticket, and then she'll call one of the 3 of us to go and handle the business. So like I was there telling them a little while ago, I work in IT capacity, so I know about what I hear talking about with the Starlink and telecommunication and connection, period. So even last week in one of my episodes, in the episode last week, apologies, I mentioned that how Telem and these local ISPs, internet service providers, don't have no redundancy, like no backup to the server. So like if the server go down, all of us down, And we experienced that recently a few times. Let me say like in the past couple months and thing, they've been having like little outages and different things like that. Good. And that is something I became aware of during my tenure at AUC. I'll be straight up, and being in the IT field, again, a lot of insight on the going ons where telecommunication is concerned. Let me just say like that, But bottom line, as we talking about here today, service. The service has been lackluster, and that's why everybody moving to Starlink. Because what? Like I say, the service better. You're paying less every month. You could control it better. Like the user interface and thing is a lot more better. Like I could pull up right now on my Starlink app how much internet we use for the whole month. And when I say that, I mean like by day. Like literally, if I want to see how much it was per day, I could see, okay, well, today we use a lot of internet. Right? What we do on that day? Good. This data allows you to adjust. Like I mentioned in my infrastructure episode, but also something I want to talk about with GB is concerned. Data is something that beneficial. When you know what you're using, you know how you could adjust yourself. So let me say like in other countries, they just tell you how much electricity you use in your house, down to the outlet, down to the light fixture. You check. So maybe in the States, maybe in Germany, these other countries, even in the Caribbean, when you get your bill, they telling you, okay, well look, Oliver or Laurel or Enigma, for this month you use like how GB they tell you, okay, such and such kilowatts, per hour, per month, however. And then now they telling you, okay, well look, this amount get pulled from this amount get pulled from this. So now if you say, "Buy, I want lessen my bill," okay, that light in the kitchen that I leave on, I gotta turn that off because that burning too much current. Save money. But with how we got things here, you're stuck. You don't know what's going on, so you're at the mercy of everybody else, But anyways, continuing on, like I said, these was old ones, but this one I did, you could see the difference in the setup. Actually, you could see the difference how they set up because the app update recently. So as you could see, this afternoon at 2:46, I did a speed test on my phone. This is like a screenshot from off my phone. I get speeds 263, 18 megabytes upload, 47 mega milliseconds latency. Cool, good, good, good. So as I say, this is Starlink website. You could either go order now, or if you want to learn more, this is the two types of packages they have. So they have residential, so think on like a standstill or like a stationary service. Whereas like for your house, like I have residential because it's on the house and ain't going nowhere. But they also have a roaming plan, whereas mostly they make this for like maritime and boat and thing, but a lot of people, let me say in the States, people use it for like RV trips. Let me say if they're going camping or these different things, or let me say for us here in Simati. I actually been looking into getting another kit with a roaming plan because it's like, okay, you got your internet home, you up, but then you checking by, I gotta go on the road. Maybe you gotta go town, go deal with some business, and wherever you gotta go, don't have no internet. Or let me say maybe you checking, you want get a different environment. You going on the beach, but you need internet. With a roaming, you could take your package, bring it with you. Simple as that. So you could just disconnect it from wherever you set it up home, bring it with you, hook it back up, and you got internet wherever you go. And actually it's roaming, so like you don't have to really disconnect it. You could like throw it in your car and drive, and you could use that internet. Good. To the point, I've been hearing talks that Starlink been looking to do mobile data plans too, and I say straight up, if they do that, I don't know it with all these people from here. Straight up, I don't go get that. I ain't even sugarcoating it. Straight up, like, cause I need service. Like, I just went get a plan from Flow. 10 gigs a month. That's no gigs for me. Like I say, when I was in the States, I had 22, and I used to blow that, and I wasn't even as creative and active as I is now. So imagine now, I can blow that in a joke. But I feel like the 22, if anywhere and St. Maarten was to come and tell me, yeah, we have a service plan for 22 gigs for a month, I'll jump on that quickly. But none of them have it. I even went to try get, not a try. I had a Digicel phone from friend side because similarly, because I have family on the friend side, I was able to get a phone through one of my other family who don't have Digicel. But okay, it worked good for a while. And honestly, my personal belief and what information I gathered, it seems like due to all of this controversy with like Telem and you know the Telecommunication Bureau, you know, back and forth and whatnot, it seems like they might have blocked the services from the friend side as well, maybe trying to safeguard their local, you know, like service. And it's like, yo, in business, either you ship up or you ship out. Shape up or ship out. You know, like numerous businesses die because they was providing horrible service and people went elsewhere and the business just crumbled because what? Without your customers, you don't have a business. Plain, plain and simple. I said that enough times when I was by AUC. If your employees don't come to work, your customers ain't getting solved. If your customers don't come and buy, you ain't making no money. So either ways, you gotta deal with these people good, both your employees and your customers. You check? And bottom line, both of those factors, tell them have not been doing. Check? So yeah. Just to show you quickly, like I say, where I live don't have fiber, but on the website they only showing the fiber plans. So okay, 1 month. This is Telem website by the way. Let me just make sure stipulate that. And yeah, I'm trying to reach to the plan. So now they have, as I say, $65 per month for 75 megabytes per second. And then now they got $100 a month for 150 megabytes per second. And then 125 for 250 megabytes per second. But what I can tell you for a fact, this has changed recently. Like I said last week, they had a article that came out controversial about them increasing the speeds that they offering for the packages. But like I say, those is prices for fiber. So as I mentioned, where I am, we don't have the fiber as yet, so I would not be able to get that either ways. You know, so like I stipulated, our plan we had was about 110 and change, let me say going to 120 for about, let me say 12 megabytes per second. 12 megabytes per second. Good. And now flow, as as SK mentioned, I'll go to wireless because they also have fiber, but I'll start with a wireless internet because that has the no fiber plans. So, as you see, this is what SK was mentioning. 110 a month for 15 megabytes per second. And they have better, 20 megabytes per second for 125, but that's the highest. And as you can see, they have lower 10, 12, 15, and then 20. Good. Now let's go to the fiber. Cool. Fiber, you get 30 megabytes per second for $69, 50 megabytes per second for $100, 75 megabytes per second for $150, and okay, they have the highest one is 200 megabytes for $309. Good. So I had to show this to the people. Oh yeah. Only God knows. Only God knows. So look, okay, just for added benefit, I just want to show you now. I just want to show you that I take this screenshot today. Today. I was 2 years old when I take this screenshot of 263 megabytes per second from my Starlink that I pay $80 a month. Hi, lad. Hi, lad. I ain't hearing me, man. But they don't hear me though. You check? So, that being said, I'm gonna close up. I'm gonna start closing down and wrapping up, because for sure this has been a fruitful episode, rightfully. I'd say I'm cutting back the time of these episodes. I say I'm shooting for an hour and 30, but if I reach an hour and 45, I'm good. Last week, I hit it right on an hour and 45. Because, 1:30 you talk, and then, you close up. But I tell you, this is a serious thing now. That I sure I could hear and see the passion in how I express this today, because it's a serious thing we facing here now. You see how much people sit here in the chat, we getting robbed. And guess what? Me, I don't work hard for my money. When I out on top of roof and I out with drill, or I out, like, I ain't gonna lie, I do these type of work so much these past weeks, but just know, when I out on my grind, getting my money, nobody out there with me. So you wanna come grab my money and thief my money, and I can just smile in your face? Not at all. Not me. So that's why this one here, I tell you, it close to here now. Because like I show you, I've been going through this, and I show you the service I've been experiencing from Telecom, and trust me, it used to irk me. Like, thank God for God in heaven, because these people would have burn out my soul. Thank God He'd restore my soul, because, Lord, people just deal with people in such a horrible manner. People just so bad mind and ugly and dirty and nasty nowadays, right? It'll just hurt me back. It'll hurt me to see how people move with each other. We need to start moving with more grace towards each other. We need to try to be a little more understanding towards each other. I know that they say, like, put yourself in other people's shoes, but we can't wear each other's shoes. I wearing a size 10.5, you wearing a 9. You can't fit in my shoe. You check? But what? You could try to understand my point of view just a little bit. Just a little bit. You check? Because it's just like you. Is a point of view just like yours. Checking what? All of us trying to make it now. All of us. Every single one of us. Even the people who in there robbing us so. Trying to make it. Trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. All of us. All of us. Each and every one of us. Just trying to get up each and every day and provide for our families. All of us. So how I could just smile while you trying to take food off my plate? That ain't gonna work. I went out and I hunt for this food. And I hungry. Yeah. So guess what? Dog eat dog. You gonna eat me. You gonna eat my food off my plate. I work too hard for it. You check? And that's what it is. That's how people, that's just from primitive days. That's just human nature, instinct. We gotta eat. Food ain't gonna just fall in your lap, fall on your plate. Nowhere the bird to just fly by and catch a heart attack and just fall, boom, right on your fire and your roast. No. You gotta make sure you either got a slingshot, a spear, you're good with your hands. You check something, you got to go do. And that's why I a very spiritual man, a very godly man. I pray every day, multiple times a day. I pray before I come on this. You check, I pray every episode. Yeah, the first episode for sure, man. A little nerve, you have to calm that. God is a comforting to the soul. But I tell people straight up. A lot of people they say like, yeah, just put it up to God. Just God can handle it and thing. But I tell them you gotta do your part too. You can't just lay down, pray to God, and just feel like you're lay down there in the bed and all your problems can just solve themselves. No. After you pray to God, He can give you the enlightenment and the power you need to go and open these doors and go and get to all these problems solved. But what? A lot of people, a lot of, I'd say religious people feel like, bah, yeah, I pray on it. My work is over. But what? Bye. We is God's soldiers. God give us our armor. We gotta know how to put it on and go out there and fight in this battle because what? We wrestling not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. And they got a lot. They got a lot. High and low. So you gotta be strong. Can't just lay down and feel like, bye God, I feel tired today, I feel weak today, but nah, every day is a battle. Oh, yeah, nah. It's a battle. And we're in a battle right now. So that's why I here trying to reignite the fire within all of you. Show you like, yo, we gotta wake up and we gotta get serious. You check? We gotta get we finances in order. We gotta start getting our necessities and things that we need together so that we could live good. Plain and simple. Ain't no rocket science, ain't nothing complicated, ain't nothing, none of that, nah. Just simple. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Simple maths. Quick maths. like that UK panel. Can't remember Big Sean. Yeah, Big Sean. Quick maths, man. So I really, really, really I had to do this episode. It really been on my heart a while. Like I said, certain of these topics I had long before I decided to do this podcast. Part of why I do this podcast, checking I need an outlet. I need somewhere to just share my views and opinions. I'll say straight up, like, okay, yeah, it's views and opinions, but it got sense to it. It's solutions for who want to pick it up. If I had the authority or the power to fix all these things and regulate all these things, I'd do it. So I guess too, in a way, this is like a kind of insight into me and my mind, and I guess like how I would change St. Martin if I was in power, in leadership, if I was the Prime Minister of St. Martin. Let me put it like that. One thing I could tell you, a lot of things will be fixed. I promise you that. I promise you. Because I is solution oriented. And I know business. So I know one of the main things anybody can tell you is buy money. How we gonna get the money? Where the money gonna come from? How we gonna make back money? You check? So you gotta know how to fix things, solve the problems, but still make sure that things manageable and elevating. You don't want to be going down. We all want to go up in life. You check. We want to grow just like a tree, just like when you was a little boy, maybe it was 3 foot tall, and then you went 4 foot, and now you're about 5 something going on 6 foot. Same thing. Yeah, same thing. Same thing. So yeah. Once again, I thank you for joining. I thank you for the support. Love alone, love and blessings. I pray God's abundant blessings on all you, real talk. Because I know it ain't easy out here, and that's what this positivity is far, you know. They got a lot of negativity in this world, and sometimes a little positive message to help you get through your day, you know. So about motivating and inspiration, you know, but also solutions. We need solutions. We need to grow. We need to keep growing. Like we can't stay stagnant. We can't feel like okay, why is Martin in a good position now, or say Martin bringing in good money, so we need nothing else again. A lot of things broken. Things need to fix. And truthfully, we could even strengthen our economy pillars as well too. You check. So, anyways, long story short, I thank you for joining me here today for me to talk about Starlink. Like I said last week, I talk about telecommunications in a different way. Spoke about mobile. But yeah, if you like today, like, subscribe, you know, all that good stuff, all that YouTube stuff. And yeah, if you find this message was good, or share it with somebody if you need to hear, even if it's Elon Musk himself, you know. Tell him by yeah, that boy is a man repping you and promoting you, boy. You say if you went market, you'd have check you on the financial market too, boy. Yeah. Tell him, send him a message. You could call Prime Minister too, tell him like yeah. That boy see the vision, he see what happening. Yeah. But yeah, once again I thank you. Next week is episode 10. We hitting double digits. Yeah, we doing things. Yeah. We hitting double digits, and you know, God bless. God bless. I really appreciate it for the love and support. That's all I could say. I thank you. I can't thank you enough. And yeah, I can close on that, you know, because it's almost 9. I don't want to keep our here too long, you know. I got some, I say, advisors advising me, and they tell me, by look, you gotta keep a consistent end time as well, you know, and I agree. But bear with me, my lovely viewers. Trust and believe. By the time you blink your eyes twice, All Over It podcast and be big, yo, on TV. Catch me with Oprah, catch man on TV. I gonna be on TV like Steve Harvey, like man, like Obama, man. We going places, man. Now you coming with me, love alone, you know. So, and that, once again, I thank you for joining another episode of All Over It podcast. And yeah, next week, episode 10, double digits. If you don't catch the previous episodes, trust me, good info. If you like today, you're gonna like the previous. You know, and yeah, it's love alone. Always. So I have a blessed night. Catch you next week.